Uh, we're live. Did you know we're live? I didn't know we were live. You would think I would know because I'm the one who's pushing all the buttons, but hello, and welcome to another edition of DooM WAD Travelogue. I'm Nick, and this is a show where we say just because it is not a great idea to be going out right now doesn't mean that we can't still explore new and interesting spaces. We're just going to do them in the form of community-built DooM WADs and level packs. Now, last week, we played the demo for Beyond Sunset, which was incredible. And the devs got to see that we played, and that warms my heart. I don't believe we offended them. That's always a good start. But that was it was a little, different, a little bit of a technicality because, it's a modern built game. It is, on the ZDoom engine lineage, but it's not necessarily a WAD, it's not necessarily Doom, it's doing a lot of other things. But it was still fun, and it was still fun, and honestly, it still played familiar. Let's call it that. It was very familiar to play. Sort of in that same realm, but also total flip side of it, I decided today, what if we played a little bit of Heretic? So I don't, oh God, my hair is still up. Oh, I don't like when my hair is up. I don't like seeing the shape of like the human skull. I don't know. It's like, that's better. But also my hair is still a little wet from the shower. Um, let's see here. Can you tell I'm rushed? I got coffee and breakfast sitting right here on the desk in front of me, so you'll have to excuse me if I munch during today's episode, but it's weird. I'm running late, but I'm also feeling really well, which is it feels weird. It's just like, oh no, I'm running late. But that's okay. I can deal with that. Like, really? I have the energy to deal with that? Wild. Heretic, for those of you who may not know, and I'm gonna look this way so I can fix the fact that I wasn't done setting up the game and everything before I went live. So Heretic is from 1994. Oh, hey, yeah. We can see a little bit of what's going on here. So it is made by Raven Software, but built on the Doom engine. And again, built on the 94 Doom engine. So this is basically concurrent with Doom 2. Which is weird because so when I was growing up, like my dad wouldn't come home and be like, "Hey, I bought this new game," and we'd like, "Oh, unwrap it and put it in and whatever." It's more like, "Hey, one of my coworkers got this game and I burned a CD of it." So like anything, because you can do that, but like a lot of the new games that we would get were on like secondhand discs already, and there's something in my mind that's just like, oh, if we're getting this on a secondhand disc, like this can't be the newest and latest technology. This must be something that is has existed and is only new to me, which is a kid, a new game to play, hey, good enough, doesn't matter when it came out. But like I never understood that I was playing like the newest latest stuff. It never had that element of excitement to it, because I was just like, oh, okay, this is a thing that already exists. Who knows for how long? I'm looking at it now, and I sort of, it was really weird. It made me look at a lot of things with the same sort of neutrality baseline. Like nothing was ever biased by being the latest, newest thing, except for not until we were like buying new consoles. Like when we bought the N64. Actually, probably just the N64, because for the SNES and the PS1, I had played those at friends' houses before I owned one. So there was this thing of just like, okay, well, like I've already seen it. Now I finally have it for myself, which implies it's like it's not this brand new thing anymore. Man, I'm going into history this morning. I guess I just feel like chatting. All right, like I said, I'm feeling strangely good today, y'all. But to bring it back to Heretic, so like I kind of had that feeling with Doom. It's just like I never realized that it was like, oh, this is the latest tech. Wow. And same thing with Heretic. It was just like, oh, this feels a lot like Doom, but it feels like this weird like also ran like, oh, Doom must have been so old that people are knocking it off and doing its own thing. Like I never read. I'm not much of a reader, even still. But I didn't put together that like, oh, Doom 2 and Heretic were kind of like step brothers, step siblings in a weird way. Um, and so part of it is like I've also never been big on fantasy stuff. Um, like I don't know why. I've always liked sci-fi more. I don't know if that's because I like space more than I like magic. Um, just the aesthetics of it. I like minimalist, clean lines. So like even like Aliens, where everything is like super, greebled and industrial and wires hanging everywhere. That's not even my particular favorite flavor of sci-fi either. Um, but the point being, when presented with Doom 2 and Heretic, it's just like, oh yeah, I'll play Doom. That's the one I like. That that one's like in space and military and sci-fi. Yeah, all right, give me that one. Um, had enough of this magic and demons bull crap. But we've been doing this show for coming on 2 years, 3 years, 2 years, too long, regardless. Um, but just over time, over developing skills as a game designer, as just somebody who uses a critical eye on media, and very specifically in playing Doom WADs and all of that. Um, I think it is past time to give this game a new fair shake, to say, all right, Heretic, what you got for me? Instead of, starting neutral and turning you down because you're fantasy, let's give you a fair shake and say, okay, but what do you have on offer? And like, as we do on the show, like I look at this like, oh, right now, what is still good about it? What still plays? What is, we have said and shown on many occasions that like Doom is a game, is a system that really sort of traverses it's kind of timeless, because like it is one thing, but it lets you apply to a lot of things, or there are like a lot of things you can apply to it. um that there's a lot of it just hit on a really timeless setup, um but also at the same time, like in okay, I'm not doing that. Somebody using a welder on the premises, I don't know. um we did have an ice storm. We didn't like lose any power from it, but maybe today's different. Who knows? Fingers crossed. um I'm trying to get to a point. I promised you that. I'm trying to. I think this one is also really going to be interesting to look at, as this is a contemporary of Doom 2, because I've played enough of at least the beginning of Doom 2 to like have a feel for Doom and Doom 2, and like what those games were like in terms of level design, in terms of detailing, in terms of whatever. And so like to look at this both as how does this use the timelessness of the Doom engine, plus how does this compare to its own contemporaries of the time? Uh, and like, okay, a little spoilers, I'm going into saying like I have played this, but usually I like to go into these sort of blind, so we get to discover them together. I'm chatty, but it doesn't mean I'm finding words. I like to go into these blinds so that we can discover these together, and it's a journey we go on together. But this is a game that I have played before. I've been playing it basically since it came out. Not constantly. I have not played this game in. Well, I had not played this game in possibly literally decades, because it was always the one that I turned down in favor of regular Doom. But it was maybe a couple of weeks ago. I was playing with VR Doom forks, and I was just like, oh right, I can do VR in basically anything that loads into ZDoom now. Hey, question. And then I went over here, and Heretic was one of the ones that I pulled up for a little VR exploration. So I have recently played the first couple of levels. So this won't be that. This is kind of why I have a preamble, because spoilers, I already have some thoughts about everything I said, we would be keeping an eye on. But hopefully this means that we can get through, a decent amount of levels here. Maybe my thoughts are already a little more coalesced on it, which, considering how much trouble I'm having with words today, that would be nice. And now that we are past 10 minutes in, how about we finally just get into the game and play a little bit, How about it? How about it, folks? All right, new game. Hey, this color mix, gross. All right, 5 episodes. That's interesting. We're gonna go City of the Damned. For those of you for whom this is your first episode, this is a game about exploration, or this is a series rather, about exploration, not about challenge. So we always play on the easiest difficulty, and if we still run into something that is a little too hard for us, instead of bashing our heads against it, we will use cheats or debug commands or whatever it takes to push through and see more of the levels. All right. Thou needest a wet nurse. Yellow bellies are us. Bringest them oneth. Thou art a smite meister. Ooh, can I put that on my business card? Smite meister. So, right off the bat, can we talk about playing with light? Right? I have not touched the controls yet, but a thing that we know about the Doom engine is that it has no dynamic lights. All lights are baked into the walls and floor, baked into the sector. So what we have here is lights. The shadows of the pillars have been drawn in, as well as like the light bleed. We have different. We have the stark contrast lighting on the pillars, and we have the sort of ambient glow in the rest of the room. This is a flex. This is the opening scene of your game, and you just flex on them. That makes so much sense. Like, I have a feeling that, like... Now, okay, also that being said, this is maybe a weird opening, because we have, like, a door right ahead of us. We see, other things going on out there. We see that little hint of open sky, so we know that that's open air, but also a bit covered. Yeah, we'll get to that when we get out there. But, like, this opening is just a flex. This is the first frame of your game, and they're saying, look at what we're doing. And I have a feeling that, So, again, this game was, even though the engine was id, that's why the id logo was plastered all over the front, this game was made by Raven Software. And I'm sure they had to do a lot of modifying of the Doom engine to, at that time, you didn't just, add some Lua scripting to add new weapons. You basically had to, like, recode the engine in part in order to get new weapons, new ammo types, new whatever, the new enemies in here. But so the point is that, but still the point is you did not have to do as much work as coding the entire engine. So I have a feeling that maybe just like as a project team, they had more effort to put into individual level design like this. Like this was more what they were talking about. They were like, we're going to flex on design. We have more, we don't have to build the whole engine. We have to modify it, but we can put the majority of our effort into, direct level design and designing moments like this. Like Doom has some very like smart level design in terms of like layout and just like, you know, draw like the sort of like foreshadowing that we talk about, you know, whether it's in the balconies or just, you know, like eye lines or windows or the, you know, the U shape of levels or what have you. But these guys are just gonna flex on detailing like this. Ha! Got him. Little tiny flying guys is your first enemy, you know? All right, this game has inventory. And I don't know what that does. How do I use that? But okay, so you know, when we say it's, you know, based on Doom engine, we see some obvious things already. Like, oh hey, there's no opening door in here. In my mind, there was like a little like fake door right here that we walked into, but no, this is just like a weird room like this. So, I mean, obviously, HUD, automap, all of that, right? But that's also part of the engine. It's going to unify it even more than it would have been in the day. But let's talk about, we have your melee, which is just a stupid stick, which I love. This is your pistol equivalent, which is same thing. We have our health. I guess these aren't bonuses because they're not pushing us over 100. We have key door over here, which I love the big statues still telling you, hey, no, this is, it's put next to the door to tell you this door is color coded. Cool, fine. And when I was playing, I could tell like, oh, this enemy is, you know, like a maybe like a damage number modified version of this known Doom enemy. If any of these enemies were living long enough, I could point it out, but yeah, look at the flexing over here. Look at the sort of you know, we're already dealing with multiple materials. We're dealing with this overhang, the sort of like, I don't want to say a fake roof, but you know, like an outdoor experience. We have this water here that's just like, yeah, you can just stand on the water. Don't worry. Oh, that's nice. Oh, okay. So we got some. That's a power up that we don't know what it is that we can clearly see from here. Wait, where can we go from here? See, I was not impressed by this game back in the day, but only because, like, I was a child and did not realize that this was, like, brand new and interesting and modified Doom. Okay, here we go. So these guys, I want to say these are, like, modified Cacos, because they float. Oh, no, they're lost souls, because they float and then they don't shoot, they charge you. Which I think is an interesting decision, right? Sort of like low health, not necessarily like low threat, but it has to travel. It is melee only. All right, switches. Don't know what that is. I know it's a key. The HUD says that it's basically a key. Like that. Retexturing everything in this game to then kind of it does kind of rely on knowing Doom to be like, oh, hey, because of what this does on the HUD, because of what this, you know, the way this appears, well, like it is still using the vocabulary of Doom in a lot of ways. See this guy, which again, movement, charging for you, melee hitter, so I'm thinking this is basically a modified Pinky. I know they're not all one-to-one, but there's definitely, like... You can see the lineage, I think, is maybe the thing to say. There you go. It's a crossbow. We want that. I think it was smart that they started with, like, a nice open area. You can see that they're still playing with the painted lights in a lot of ways. Like, real use of it's not dynamic lights, but, like... bake-in lighting that makes a lot of sense. Ooh, creepy. Get, okay. Hello. Okay, so we picked those up. We got Ethereal Arrows. Good, arrows, crossbow. I mean, they look like arrows, of course we know that. I do like this little hallway right here because this feels like very your friend, you know, your friend is drawing a D&D map, you know, for game night. It's just like, all right, here's this hallway. There's rooms off the hallways. What's in the rooms? You know, stuff. But the hallway with rooms off of it is very... Oh, why is this so blinky? Hello. I mean, that stands out, right? Because it doesn't even match that side. Secret doors. Ha! Got it. Whoops. I don't need a bigger weapon for little guys. What are we talking about here? Also, was that the player character laughing maniacally at getting a new weapon? Oh, hey, now we're up here. And this is still within that secret. All right, what was that? Tome of Power. Okay, so I'm guessing that is... Yeah, that's an item in the inventory. Fine. I'm guessing that's going to be like a quad damage kind of deal. And hello. And it ends matching with the other one that's slightly sent. But this one is much better hidden because it matches the textures to the side of it. It has a stripe idea going. Plus, when you're in this room, it's the nature of it is broken up by these pillars, so you might not notice that it's only one of those standing out. It's a good secret, and it's a good secret zone. Oh hey. Switch to the door that we passed before. One way back down. It's good. It's good. No backtracking. One way. You just get to it. You just get to it. See now, if this were me now, I would be like, oh, why is it like a dead end? Might not always walk into it, but no, you gotta walk into it. It becomes stairs. Walking into something that's deactivated doesn't always make sense to be the manner for activating it. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Oh, I wonder if the wood is like a tell, like maybe like more... No, because I think that's already not born through that, like... Stuff made out of wood is going to be sort of mechanical secret activation kind of stuff. Okay. Well, we got a big door. Doesn't have the key statues. I'm guessing this is the end. There you go. Same end screen. So like it's wild, right? Because you look at it and you go like, oh yeah, no, this is like Doom. We've just changed everything a little bit. But like Why did I do that in the middle of a sentence? Because I'm hungry. The level of just like design, it's not even necessarily complex designs, and we'll have to see. I don't know so much the like backstory of this game. You know, I haven't seen any interviews or anything like that, so I don't. But like assuming that maybe they did the same technique of the last level built as a first level scene, so that way it's, you know, the best level you have made. You start on your best foot kind of way. Because that level showed off, we had, you know, very sort of skilled use of the baked in lighting, just a real flex on that. Had pretty good secret, pretty good walk around. So I didn't even get all the secrets, jeez. Right, because there was that whole outdoor area I didn't get to. Wow. Okay, so that was pretty dense then if I didn't even get everything. Wow. I don't even know where other stuff would be. Wow. Cool. So like good use of secrets, good use of like, you know, windows and line of sight and showing you things, good use of materials and textures for creating like a real feeling space, good use of like navigation and pathing and, you know, like one-way balconies and things like that. Avoiding unnecessary backtracking. Just like everything about this feels like a flex of like yeah, we have learned. It's not the most, and then yeah, at the same time, it's not the most complex map because it is like the first one. It's like we're gonna ease you in, but we are gonna flex on you. So it's just like it makes a very good first impression. I love this. I love that it's the planning map. All right, dungeons. Okay, enough of this. What if a shotgun but magic? So I'm looking at that guy, and okay, we'll talk about it in a minute. Okay. So this dude, my first thought would of course be like, oh, that is some sort of like altered revenant, right? Because, well, because he's a skeleton man in armor, and I guess I'm skeleton racist. But honestly, the way he was throwing, being a little, you know, green color coded, maybe a knight. Also the revenant would have a homing shot, and well, he wasn't really alive long enough to demonstrate one, but that would be the way we find out, I think. I am just going to say this now. I think we're going to get better examples later on, but I think my feeling is compared to Doom 2, this game does a much better job with sort of, it feels weird to say it, but like with urban settings. All right, so that's going to be a green door. Where can I go? You don't have a key statue. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Whoa! Hey. Good. Looney Tunes. I love it. It does a better job with like urban. Wow! Red shot. Am I hitting somebody? Oh, okay, saw him. Can I get up? I can't get up there. What was I saying? I think this game does a much better job with like urban design. And what I mean is it does better in terms of like spaces that have both indoor and outdoor spaces and like standalone buildings like this. I don't think this is even the best example of it, but just it feels, I don't know about like more natural, but like it feels complex in a realistic way. It hides the fact that, you know, it does a better job hiding the fact that outdoor spaces are the same as indoor spaces, but the ceiling is, you know, is rendered in a fancy way. See, I have no idea what that did. No idea whatsoever. Oh-ho! Oh-ho! Two-tier. Alright, guy. You wanna do this? Let's dance. What are the red ones about? Okay, nobody does a red attack like that. Okay, that's fun. The separate projectiles from the crossbow have independent vertical tracking. So I was able to hit two separate dudes that way. Was able to. I did not mean to be fair. It's kind of doing it on its own. Wow, it even has some horizontal tracking. Okay, anything else secret? Okay, I guess more secret. Wait, isn't this just where we were gonna be going anyway? Wait a second. Yeah, we would have... Oh, wait. Wait? Okay, fine. I could activate my torch if I knew what the activate item key was. Barrel puzzle. Welcome to my barrel maze. Let's see here. If I do this... Oh! I activated everything. Okay, okay. Granted, now I don't know what the dark areas were that I needed to explore, but okay, yeah. Can I unactivate it? This is a secret? Oh, whoa! Okay, the Tome of Power is not necessarily just a power up. It changes the way weapons work. Yo, that's incredible. Yo. Oh, hello. I figured I didn't want to step under it. Excuse me, I'll take this. That's just... Ugh. Okay, I look at that, and I cannot necessarily tell if it is a thing that you are grabbing and you are just seeing this bit of the hand, because to me, it looks like it's sort of like mounted right over here, and it's like you have to amputate your arm to use this weapon. Also, this is on 4, so chain gun. Yeah, so a pea shooter pistol, shotgun equivalent, chain gun equivalent. All right. Oh, so kind of like hold it like this or something? Huh. But there's no, like, down the middle. I can see, like, extra knuckles over on the right side, so that would make some sense that we're looking at it, like, right, like almost like if it's a cup, if you're kind of like grabbing it at an angle like this, so it's sort of pointing out that way. It's a left-hand fist. Thumb is on the lower. Oh, so it's like this upright, and the thumb is down there, and you're... Okay, I could see that. Okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. So, what did we accomplish with that? We have a yellow key now. Okay, good. Been in there. Let's go in here. But, like, even this, the little, like, alcove for mechanically no real purpose, but it adds a sense of complexity to this space, to these walls. And the fact that like the alcove overlaps into and out of the space, it just makes it feel really complex, you know? It's good. It's good. Hey guy. What's up? You got those axes? You feeling good about that? Oh, you got a friend. Didn't know it was couple skate. I don't know what that means. Oh, let's see here. So that's up there. Oh, so I'm guessing the purple is gonna be like health refill, but I haven't gotten that hurt because we're playing on easy. The sudden like complete change of textures into here makes this hallway feel like almost regal. Like, oh hey, whoever owns this place has the money to pay for a fancy kind of material that isn't just the material we use to make everything. Okay. Aha! Now is this also? It is. Just using like unexplained shadow to highlight a... Oh. Hello. Okay, this is our chainsaw equivalent. Okay. Okay. That's pretty good. I like that. Time? 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 Oh, hello. Well, might as well. And scroll has to be a map, right? Yeah. Oh boy. Oh, hey. Oh. Ooh. All right, what do we get? Time Bomb of the Ancients, Ring of Invincibility, Gauntlets of the Necromancer. See, and the thing that's really funny to me is that, you know, as I grew older and, you know, as I had more experiences, the thing that I realized is that the thing that I've always liked most about Doom is the fact that, you know, a lot of the levels were designed like almost like a D&D encounter, because it's not necessarily a matter of, oh, you know, to me, the best Doom maps weren't the slaughter maps, the run and gun, the constantly moving. It was the ones where it's like, okay, I'm going to hit this switch, which is going to open the gate that I need to get through, but also unleash 12 monsters. And this idea of just like almost like self-paced, like mechanisms and traps laying in wait that, you know, the player sets off through their exploration. And that is like a D&D map. That is also my favorite D&D campaigns. That is dungeon delving, you know? And it's funny to me that has always been my favorite part of the Doom experience. And yet I turned down Heretic when this is clearly like, well, like I guess it does make sense, right? Because you know, my favorite flavor is sci-fi. So it's just like, oh, like I would probably like all of this fantasy stuff more if it wasn't for the fact that I prefer sci-fi. And like it's honestly sort of, I guess, a bummer for young me that it, you know, the amount of stuff that I like playing, that I like the experience of, that I was actually pushed away from because it was, you know, flavored in this way that just I dislike, that pushed me away. Right, so I'm gonna guess that that's like poisonous. Gosh, okay, so also having this inventory is really interesting because that means they can give us time limited items but it gives you more flexibility in where to place them, because you don't need to place them immediately next to like the challenge that they are needed for, you know? Like how many Doom levels, if you have like a toxin bath that you have to just like surround with hazard suits, you know? Whereas this is like, oh, actually, like I can hang on to this, because so maybe you could have like the small toxin bath that you put the hazard suit next to, but actually there's a big toxin bath with a secret in it that but like located somewhere else entirely. So if you save the suit, then you can go solve that puzzle later using it, you know? There's a flexibility there. Same with the power, same with the... Man, it's kind of interesting, because like... Or do I not like that? All right, so let's think about this for a second. Listen, I'm also going to be... I'm going to be honest with you folks. Apparently, I have a lot to say today, so we're going to have like a full-length stream. I don't know how much game we're actually going to see during it. I'm just going to talk for a while. Because it's the potions dilemma, right? How many people are the kind like me, and I know a lot of people who are like this, where like it's like, oh, I have this great stock of, you know, potions and ethers and all of this in my Final Fantasy, my RPG or whatever. And it's like, oh, cool. So you stock up on them because you use them a lot, right? No, I never use them. That's why I have so many. It's like, well, why don't you use them? What if I need them later, right? And so by giving you, you know, basically from what I just like theorized could be the case, that explains why, you know, that mindset appears. And honestly, in that way, giving you an inventory where you get to choose where to engage these power-ups, or to not engage them ultimately, that's kind of interesting, and it's kind of interesting, and almost a problem, because it enables that stockpile mindset. Whereas without the inventory, yeah, you can kind of only use the item, you know, where it is, but that's good, right? Like, it forces you to use it. It forces you to take it and immediately engage it, because you can't, like, you can save it in the sense of you don't have to pick it up right away. Like, there's a lot of times, and I think you see this in Slaughter Maps fairly often, is like there will be like 4 soul spheres around, and the thing is like, no, you don't want to grab them all right away. You'll just waste most of them. But you do want to, like, okay, maybe take one now to top off, have some of the fight, and they almost become like your different like checkpoints around the map, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna take on as much as I can, and then, you know, when I'm running low, that's when I run to the next one, and we'll take it from there, right? So it becomes a resource that makes the map feel more important, right? And also you can't stockpile them. So if like the easy way to look at it is like a per map inventory, right? So like this inventory, I'm pretty sure we have taken stuff with us from previous maps. Like, that's why we have so many of these. Again, I'm assuming health potions. Have I picked any more of those up? Don't know. Okay, cool. So the idea is like, it's like if you can't stockpile them, then it takes away the idea of, there essentially becomes a worser waste, right? A worse waste, because the idea of if I use this item before I really need it, that would be a waste. But leaving the map without using it is the same as throwing it away, and that is a worse waste. So it actually encourages you to use more items if there is this, you know, throw items away situation. Like even looking at it like this, right? We have 7 slots here. but our slots are stacking. Like, what if, you know, every item was and each instance of an item took up an independent slot, and when you picked up your 8th, you would drop, you know, whatever is in there, like, you know, oldest or what have you. Then it would be like, oh, it's limited. How about I might as well use it so that I can carry more, because throwing it away would be a worse waste. You know, I think that is a sense of inventory systems that I have really gained an appreciation for, because I know I am exactly that stockpile person. You can see it in like when Fallout does something like that, right? It's because Fallout has encumbrance, and that's another, I guess it's trying to be a solution to a problem like that, as well as it's trying to be like a simulation kind of thing. But it is kind of trying to say, like, okay, you have a limit on your inventory space, right? You have to make, it's trying to put in interesting decisions, because like you can carry everything, but you're sort of making yourself vulnerable. You're limiting your own abilities. It's really like you are taking a critical detriment by overloading yourself, by taking everything. And by stockpiling everything, by hanging on to everything. Doesn't stop the people I know who play that way. I know plenty of people who play that way. It's just like, well, I'm going to collect everything within, you know, walking distance of a decent, storage point. But I find it also has the effect of like, yeah, no, you still stockpile. It's just you don't have access to your stockpile at all times, but it never permanently goes away. So, you know, you still stockpile it. And I find I still end up in those games carrying around a lot of extra stuff, because it's just like, well, what if I do want to take the drugs at any given moment? And what I essentially do is like, it forces you to like, okay, well, are you going to stockpile, or are you going to be able to pick up new stuff? And there is like a balance there that kind of causes it, but like also not really. Like, I don't know. I the other way that goes is, and actually, I've been talking about Tenchu a lot lately, because I've been playing Sekiro again. But, I've been trying to play Sekiro for the first time again. I haven't beaten that game because I don't like it, because it's not Tenchu. It is still a Souls game. I know it doesn't have Souls or Born in the title, but it is one of those games, and that's an argument for another time. But like, even in in a lot of games where you have like a base and you can like take items with you and like sort of preload your inventory, I just always set out with an empty inventory. It's like, no, I know I'm stockpiling. I've learned not to. I also just don't rely on having consumable items, because if you develop a playstyle that requires having consumables, then if you ever run out of those consumables, then you're stuck. Then it's impossible. Then you're going to need to learn how to play without those consumables. So it's just like, how about I learn to play without those consumables in the first place, and then, you know, sort of, I don't know. That's how I approach a lot of things. It's plan for the worst case scenario, and then anything else is a bonus. Yeah, I guess I do kind of play Dark Souls and XCOM in the same way. What am I talking about? All right, let's play some more, because if I'm playing, I can also put this in. Breakfast is good for you. Hey, remember what I was saying about the hallway with doors and rooms off of it? Here we are again. I love it. It feels so D&D. It feels so D&D. I was like a big guy. I should be using a bigger gun. Actually, it feels like the really useful part about this weapon is that it pushes? Hey, green key. The heartless key. Okay, I guess that's telling me I'm full on these, so I should be using these for a little while. Okay. Button. Aha! I didn't know that that was a puzzle that I needed to solve. You know what? Maybe they are revenants because... While that red shot doesn't necessarily seem to home, the idea of an enemy with, you know, a soap projectile plus a secondary alternate version of that shot makes a lot of sense. All right, here's something I know about video games. This door is actually an elevator. Now we're talking. You're big. Am I really that full on ammo I can't get any of these? Okay. Oh, but yeah, there we go again. Here's one of our, here's our, like, one-way out. That leads us back to this hub room, where now we can go through the door that we just got the key for. Let's go. Another change in texture. So it really is feeling like completely different wings. Oh, that's a weird looking key. Looks nothing like the others. Whoops. No, what if I'm leaving? I can't leave. I don't have a torch. I'm just gonna walk forward like this, and if someone gets in my way, that's their fault. Wait, did I really only set off half the trap last time? Right, I have a map. Oh, hey, backpack? Backpack means hold more ammo. Great. Like, I know everything's been altered, you know, has been altered to have a real distinction from the Doom counterparts, but really, they all have clear Doom counterparts. You gotta admit. Again, not a complaint. Like, honestly, you know that's how I started off today's videos, is saying like, oh yeah, you know, Doom landed on a really good like system. So the idea that oh, excuse me, I'm burpy too. Like, it is not a problem to just do the Doom thing again, because the whole point was the Doom thing is so good. Like, yeah, stick to a winning formula and take a winning formula and flex with it. Hell yeah, that's good plan. Okay, so this one is slightly darker, and according to the map, that's because it holds a secret. Ooh, spooky. Ah! Okay, handled. Now, what was that? That was a shadow sphere. Okay, don't know what that is necessarily. Okay, so now we have a blue key, so we gotta go to the blue door. The door. Visibility. Okay. Oh, is that in my... Yes, it is in my inventory. Okay. Got the blue key. That's right here, so... Let's... I'm opening my eyes so wide. What? What? Having the complete map is sort of like being able to see in the dark. Isn't this the ending screen? But we haven't been everywhere yet. I can see on the map. All right, so oh, okay, it's that. Yeah. So that would be, let's go through this way. And it looks like it's, what if we went up and around and back here, and it's like one of these walls? But it doesn't open that way. Well, then where's the other side of it? Oh, and there's a secret over there? Oh, that opens over in there, maybe? Okay. Excuse me. So you're telling me in here. Oh, yeah, the one that's flashing weird. Okay. Is that a thing? The Wings of Wrath. I'm going to guess that just lets me fly. Which is rad. Gosh, where would I even want to fly to? Okay, I'm going to go through the green door next. Oh, actually, this is good, because now I can get back up on this ledge, which now that I have the backpack, maybe I can get the rest of this stuff. Or at least more of it. There we go. So you're telling me green door in here. Oh, yeah, it's got the same shadow tell. I didn't even notice that before. I mean, I guess that is kind of interesting, right? Like, the fact that they're using, like, light distinction and shadows so often in so many places means that using shadows as a tell for secrets is actually, like, so clear, yet so easy to miss, because your brain is just like, oh yeah, it is more playing with shadows, when actually it's like, no, actually this is a very clear tell. It's like yes, they are playing with shadows a lot, but when they do it in this one specific way, that means a secret. That's really cool, actually, to be such a way to be so obvious and so easy to miss. Okay, and then we're out the backside. So this is just like a zone? This is just like a big zone back here. Okay. Sure, cool, neato. And that had wings. Alright, so is there like anything over here? Okay, this says there's something over there, which that's up. Okay. Oh, that's that like first room that we were in, right? You go this one. Oh my god, they did it again. I did not notice this the first time through. And then this, and then you see the guy who was shooting at us from behind it. That's how we get up here. Oh my gosh. Okay. See, like, this is like... For being, you know, again, very square, for in a lot of cases being very straightforward, this map is pretty great. Where did we want to go to get out of here? We wanted to go around here through the blue door, I believe. You knew? No, we found you. Is this one different too? Right. That. Like it understands like wings. It understands like like every one of these wings should be a loop that drops you back off at the HUD, so that way you don't have to, you're only ever sort of backtracking across the hub, not across the individual wings. It's got good secrets everywhere. It's got eye lines. It's got, like, it hints at you about secrets and about paths and stuff. Okay, how did we get here, though? Whoop, whoop, hey! What's up, little mans? Again, I've been over this. I'm a fan of sort of like... You don't have to have... Ooh, he shoots! They look the same? No. Yeah, they look the same. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Hidden changes. That's... So after we played Beyond Sunset last week, I was thinking a nice thing that they could have done was do color distinction on the enemies that have machine guns versus the enemies that have shotguns, because they do have sort of like different threat profiles, I guess is the clinical way of saying it. And like every shield enemy has a shotgun, but once you knock the shield away, or if you know there's a shotgunner who spawns without a shield, which there were some cases of, I think, they kind of just get lost in the crowd, and it becomes hard to like read and hard to make accurate judgments. But for some reason, I don't feel compelled to make that same comment in this situation with the two different styles of like sky imps. That's what they're called, right? Sky imps. And I think because they have, if I want to say threat profiles, like they are different because they attack through different means. Whether they rush you and attack melee, or whether they attack from a distance with projectiles, right? But I think the key is... All right, green door is going to be our way out. Oh, this... I don't like how blinky this room is. It hurts my eyes. Also a yellow door in here. Great, so two different locked doors. We're going to have to come back here a lot. Oh, hello. Okay, either door does it. I gotta close my eyes. That room hurts. Wow. Sorry, everybody. That room hurts to look at. Flavor profiles. No, threat profiles. They are like a similar level of threat. So I think at that case, you know, you can put them together and it becomes a little bit of like surprise that it's like, oh, actually with this one we have to worry about both. But it's not like, you know, it's not necessarily a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's more like two different breeds of wolf. It's just like, oh yeah, no, this is still a wolf, but this is the spitting wolf, this is the biting wolf. It's like, okay. It's like, okay, still only worry about you at wolf level. Wolf level. If I just type in, there is no wolf level. So what? It is a quartz flask. That does nothing to tell me what it actually does. Again, I'm assuming health, but to be super clear, that's an assumption. That it is an assumption that the game has not yet confirmed or corrected. Those are words, right? See, now, like, if I had a life gauge and it was the same, like, there's the little red thing between the mouths. I'm pretty sure that's life. That shifts over time as you take damage, which again I'm not taking because we're playing on easy. Ooh, wait, did those reset? I had like 11 before. Am I using them automatically? Hang on. I have a key for that. Weapons. No, this says nothing about the inventory. Okay. Well, nothing about the contents of the inventory. Which I think is maybe good, you know? No, maybe it's not. Okay, so the idea of the joy of discovery, right? That's a real thing. Like to find out what a thing do. Like to find out a cool thing about a thing. That's true. That's real. But when you have no like expectation of what a thing does, then you can be like scared to use it because it's like, all right, well, I don't want to use it just to find out what it does and then end up wasting it. You don't want to use it at the wrong time. You don't want to find out something is a grenade and end up hurting yourself, you know? So there is definitely something to be said about like, I feel like a good way to do it is tell you like the sort of direct function of an item, but then leave the interactions of that item up to discovery, right? Like, oh, this is an ice grenade. All right, that's cool. You can use it to deal ice damage, whatever. That's all right, normal. But then it's like, also, you could throw it to freeze water to create a pathway over water, and you're like, oh, yo, that's awesome. Like that is a way to both like give you enough information to like make informed decisions about the item's use, as well as, oh, here's this bad room again. Oh, looking at the floor doesn't help. It gives you enough information to make an informed decision, to not be scared to use the item in question, while at the same time leaving maybe the even cooler factor about the item, leaving it unsaid and left to discovery. Like, you know, there's, granted, now you actually have to like have, you know, interactions to be discovered, sure, but like, I don't know, maybe do that anyway. That's awesome. I feel like interactions in general should be considered anyway. Sure. See, I don't know. See, put it right here. Why not? I don't know. Why would you put it over there? Anyway, whatever. Oh, but again, here's like another good one somehow of like these making buildings feel very, I don't know, making the transition from outdoor to indoor feel very natural. This makes it feel like this building has a lot of verticality to it, even though again it is all top down drawn like this. Oh, we're a tiny little dagger. Oh, it's cute. Oh, that's gonna teleport us. Hey, I've not saved this entire time. That's what it is. You know what? I can't. Oh. Just back here. Oh, though we did get green. Where did we get green? Was green up in that room? Well, it's not the exit. It'll do something. Hello. Ah! Okay. I'm guessing, yep. No. Dodge into the fireball twice. Good going, me. Oh, hey. There we go. Now we're somewhere new. Whoa, okay. I'm not done up here. I can't go down there yet. I've got corners to stick my nose into. Alright, so nothing particularly interesting. Oh. You see. Alright. We already have that. That's the Dragon's Claw here, right? Did we get that through a secret earlier? And this would be like... We got the crossbow. The first two instances of the crossbow were both in secrets, weren't they? And I'm pretty sure we're already full up on ammo for it. Yeah, 400, that... Yeah, we're full up on ammo for it. I mean, we can jump in there anyway. It'll probably trigger a secret count. Or not. That's cool. Anyway. So what we're looking for? Room with a green key. That'll just get us out of here. Let's just get us out of the blanky room. Ooh, he's invisible a little bit. Ooh. Spooky. What did that do? Okay. What? Oh, okay. Weird, but okay. Good, the height doesn't matter for checking walls. It's still in effect. So I want to say like some questionable things. It's not even that like questionable or bad. It's just a little bit like why. The idea of like putting keys in rooms that are also already sort of like filled with enemies is like the fact that I'm not noticing that I'm grabbing keys when grabbing a key is, you know, just like should be like a moment of like, oh cool, now I have it, I should be able to go get this and that now, like, and the fact that like I'm not noticing it because I'm picking it up as I'm dodging an enemy who's in the room guarding it or something like that. Granted, I think the other way, the sort of the reversal of like picking up the key is what releases the monster is pretty much always the way to go. I mean, not always, because, you know, you need to change things up for the sake of pacing, for the sake of subversion, for the sake of novelty, what have you. But to get that feeling of the trap laying in wait for you, to get that feeling of, like, you know, a calm moment to get the recognition of, oh, I have found the key, this is cool. That setup is basically perfect for that. Okay, so key over there. Whoa! Hey! Whoa! That's new! Have they always been able to do that? That's actually... Huh. I don't know if that's interesting or weird, the idea of, like, having, like, subsets of enemies. Wait. Oh, we came this way. Okay, okay. And then we saw the key, which led me to just look over here. Okay. Oh, right. See DooM, so we have jump. I won't use it, but we have it. So we don't want to go. Here, this is another really good, like, urban setting. I feel like the levels like this in here are way better than any of the... Okay, here's the other side of it. Are way better than any of the, like, city center style maps in DooM 2. Which, again, if these were both 1994, that seems a little wild, don't it? But just, like, I don't know, it feels more natural. You feel less... It is harder to recognize that the outdoors is just like another big containing room. It does a good job of playing with the like verticality, so that way outdoor just feels bigger. It plays with lights. It does a really good job hiding the fact that, like, I feel like it does a great job hiding the fact that it is, like, you know, 2D the lack of overlapping geometry, you know? I feel like it does a great job of making buildings feel big, both like externally, but also internally. Okay, that switch did the bridges. Ow, 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 ow. Rude. Hey, we finally get to check this. Yes, it's health. I don't. It just feels like a room like this. Like this feels like a like a building, multiple entrances and exits and multiple different, like, alcoves, and it feels like it feels like a set of buildings, you know? It feels like a set of abodes in the same structure, rather than, you know, just being sort of like some like twisty tunnels that connect the same... I don't know. It just sells it well. I'm having trouble putting words on it. I mean, like, yeah, like you look at this and it's like, okay, these are kind of just like hollowed out shells connecting the same open space around, but the way that it's decorated, the way that it's lit, the way that it looks from the outside, it doesn't feel like that when you're looking at it, even though on the map that's, you know, clearly exactly what it is. Well executed outdoor indoor spaces in this game, in these levels. I'm a big fan. I have no idea where I'm going or why I'm going. We have a yellow key. Have we seen a yellow door yet? Maybe all the way back where we started? Alright, here's this. If we go like this, we end up back where we started. Right, there was this whole other, like, area out here that we didn't explore. Oh my gosh. They love to use that little, like, eagle gem to denote secrets, huh? Yep. Okay. Here's our gauntlets, just kind of sitting here. Non-secret this time. That's also... So talking about inventories and limited space and thinking of the map as like one giant bag of holding, while you're on it, that does not come with you across levels, right? There's actually one thing I like about Halo, like, because like I was saying, I grew up on these games. I grew up on DooM and Wolf and everything in that lineage. Where like, yeah, no, how many guns can you carry? All of them. You just gain guns as you go forwards. And in a lot of senses, oh hey, we're up here now. Oh hey, you followed me. Oh no, that opened. See, this is what I mean. Tricks and traps everywhere. So when like Halo first came out, I was a pretty dumb kid at the time, and it was just like, oh, what do you mean you can only carry 2 guns at a time? What? I've been carrying 7 guns since I was knee-high to an elephant, or whatever silly whatever you want to say. Whatever, can we call them ruralisms? Something you only say if you grew up on a farm or something? That dude just exploded. I kind of hate the way that the ghost comes out of them. It creeps me out. It makes me feel bad. Wait, what? Okay, well, okay. Actually, I think this is very specifically a zone I wanted to talk about, because if we look like very specifically, right? Ooh, hey, is that button mapped? Other? Do I get that one? That's that key. So what we're looking at here is we have the door down here that we just came through, right? And this is just there's the key. I knew there was something important in here. Another barrel mace. Love a barrel mace, I guess. But down here we have the doorway to get to the bottom floor. And then up there we actually have a door that's going to allow us to go all the way around this outer wall and out up there. And so it really, again, it's you look at it on the map and it's like, okay, right, nothing is actually overlapping anything else. But it does feel like, no, we are, they've put them so close together up here and have like put all of the like hallways so like perfectly adjacent but on such different heights that it does a really good job of making it feel like this is a tightly condensed but with a lot of verticality. Like I can't find exactly the words to describe it, but I think this shot is, because like really this is just like 3 hallways, but they're all, and the bottom floor down here, but each of them is accessible through a different one of those hallways. Each one of those hallways is accessible through different means. It really uses the verticality to make it feel like one big building instead of just like 3 corridors in a ring. Like there's another way to do this that it's close enough, but it uses the verticality that it's like it might as well be right on top of each other, right? It makes it feel like, no, there are 3 distinct floors in this one column, and like, yes, they don't actually stack, but they are close enough. It is this concept of this is this column that like it makes it work. It makes it feel like, we are walking over other doorways. We are walking over ways we see, and I think we'll feel it more when we go up. But the fact that it's like, no, this is the door that goes from here down to here. You do not get the sense that there are adjacent corridors that connect to other pieces. It's really good at I guess the word is hiding, right? Yeah, because now we go up. God, and I forgot, there's this outer ring too. it brings us all the way down here, which we didn't even need to follow. We could have jumped out of any of these windows. It connects. Is this the way we came from? This is the way we came from, right? But this whole zone in here, I think, is an incredible job of whoever built these maps just had an incredible sense of like, okay, how do we make, you know, what is ultimately a 2D map feel like it has buildings, like just like the verticality. How do we make these vertical zones feel like sort of unique spaces in their own? See, and now we're right in here. So that corridor is right on the other side of this. And it feels like, okay, no, we're in this like same crest of this tower, but now we are up here. That it looks like or it feels like we're looking through a window into a completely separate place. It's like, yeah, no, this is, and then up out here to finish. Who are you? What are you? You got beams. You also get dumped on. It's this. There's just something about this zone that I think is this particular instance of like level design and geometry. I think this really sums up something that whoever built the map for this game really understood in terms of not being held back by the 2D nature of the map design, and said, no, this can still be, you know, separate. We can build like adjacent rooms, but with such verticality that they really feel like individual spaces. They do not feel connected, even though they are perfectly adjacent. Like we could just hop down there, but like this feels like a different room, you know? Such a good job. That's the thing that impresses me the most about all this. All right, let's go through. This is map 5. Oh, and here we go. Here's the other really like indoor outdoor map I was thinking about. So let's try and get through this map, and then I think we'll call it a day. Oh, and I guess something else interesting to point out. I love this little bridge. Not that. but while I'm on this tiny little bridge, let me talk about. I love this tiny little bridge. Like the water is not actually a inhibiting factor, but still put a bridge, because if this was a town that you were living in, you would want to go over the bridge instead of walking through the water all day. So because this is fantasy and we are pretty much just fighting, you know, monsters and demons and cultists, and there's, you know, a lot of magic beams going about, not actual, like... They're projectiles in the sense that they're not hit scan, but they are not projectiles in the sense of they are physical entities that are left behind. No enemy has dropped anything yet. Pretty much every enemy has had ammo around it. But, you know, when you're playing in a Doom, you have this sort of like, you can have this sort of ammo economy, at least in the beginning, you know, because shotgunners drop shotgun shells, humans or former humans, zombies, and, what? I'm dealing with a lot right here. Former humans and chain gunners drop bullets, and that's kind of it. But there is still this idea of like, okay, here are enemies that will drop resources, so they are not just a drain. Pretty much everything here is a drain, but because, you know, you're still expected to be using your ranged weapons all the time, this game has a lot more just ammo just on the ground, just for no particularly explicable reason. Just like, oh man, There must have been like a mage caravan with like a hole in it, and it was just dropping stuff as it traveled. But here, these buildings over here, I think these are the ones that really like wowed me, which is maybe weird to say, but yeah, like this interior over here, where it's like, okay, so we have, again, multiple staircases, multiple alcoves, multiple like separate areas, all interwove with each other and all on different heights to give the building a sense of verticality. Like, again, nothing actually overlaps each other, but everything, you know, feels like it has verticality. It feels like everything is put on different levels because that is how you get more space out of it. Yeah. Okay, now we got the yellow key, which I believe lets us into that other building. That is a silver shield. I'm guessing that's... Oh, it's just straight armor, not an item. Okay. I didn't even use time bombs yet. But honestly, even just this section, right? With these like these are separate buildings, but it has these like overhead, I guess, archways, the staircase. So we instantly have this like separation of like, yeah, no, that goes up there and deals with the heights. This stays down here. There's still a lot of like open air up there, but these feel like freestanding structures. Like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't have a great grasp on it, but whenever I try to build freestanding structures in Doom Builder, like, they don't feel right. Like, everything I want to build requires me to like do wacky things with the skybox, and like you can't drop down the skybox and then have a higher skybox behind it, because the lower one will actually like block the tops of buildings behind the big one. It's weird like that. But so I just I'm fascinated at these, because like there's something like so simply done, and they're all the same height, and these buildings are all super tall, but they don't feel like overly tall because they use all of this verticality, you know? I'm just super impressed. I'm kind of wowed. There is an understanding that the designer of these maps had whatever that just still eludes me. Actually, that's a good... If I look at info... No. Artist. Level design. Michael Raymond Judy? Eric Beisman, Tim Moore. I should see what else they worked. I mean, if they were at Raven, didn't Raven make like Return to Wolfenstein and stuff? I should look into that. Normally I'm not into people, but do I let that sentence stand? Because, well, okay, it's true. In the sense of like, you know, I have trouble socializing. I've always had a certain level of like rejection sensitivity, which means that like talking to people is a minefield for me, and it's not. I don't have fun just chatting with people, because you never know when it could go wrong, and I want to start crying. But I just got too deep for myself and pushed myself off track. Hey, we did something to make this happen, to make this stairs. Not into people, right? So like in the general sense, yes, that phrase stands. But also in terms of like, I guess the big thing is like musicians and directors. I never really put together that like, or you know, not till like late in my 20s really, that I really start putting together the thoughts of just like, oh, but especially with music though, right? Because it's just like, oh, I like this band, right? And never really put together that like, oh, the band is made up of, you know, one or more people. So it's just like, oh, hey, I like this band. If this band puts out a new album, I will look forward to it, and I'll listen to it, and I'll check it out, sure. I mean, I might have even been well in my teens before I realized that, like, I hit that level with, like, oh, I like this song. Maybe I should check out the other songs by the band. I didn't even get that far. It's just like, I like this song, which means I like this song. End of thought. You know, sometimes I worry that the way that the level of insight I have to give on things like level design in this gives the impression that I'm smart, because I'm really not. I've always have been a card carrying doofus. I won't say I'm proud of it, but I am. I am accepting of it. I am able and willing to admit it. So on and so forth. Ooh, teleporter. How do we get in there? I know I have a torch, but also just like clearing enemies out so I don't have to deal with them as I explore. Something's happening here. You're happening. Are you too tall to leave? You're too tall to leave, aren't you? That's hilarious. But yeah, it took me an embarrassing long time to think like, oh, I like this song. Oh, the song was made by a band? I should see the rest of the band. And like, same idea. I never really picked up on a part of like, I like this band. Oh, a band is made up from people? I should see what else those people do, right? Because, you know, sometimes bands break up. Sometimes one member of a band will split off and do a separate project. Sometimes, you know, stuff like that happen. And I was just completely missing out on those because I was not interested in the people. I thought, oh, the song was made by the band, therefore I care about the band. What meaning do the people have there? It's like, and again, like kind of similar thing with movies. It's just like, oh, I like this movie. This movie was made, I don't know, by a lot of people. But I like this. Like, movies come from, I don't know, Hollywood? Or, you know, even then, the kind of thing of just like, oh, actors. I know this actor. I like this actor, maybe. Sometimes I don't even like an actor. Sometimes just like a character. I don't know where I'm going with this. But basically the idea of, like, following the artists, following a person to see what they worked on is a idea that I have come to like embarrassingly late in life. Is always just like, DooM came out. I like DooM. End of thought. It was never just like, oh, DooM was made by people. Oh, well, if I like this thing that these people made, maybe I like this other thing that these people made. And it's just like, all right, well, never thought of that before, but there's a first time for everything. What am I doing over here? Is this a... Wow, okay, I guess we got some, like, parkour secrets over here. I love that. I love parkour. I love... It feels like Skyrim geometry abusing to get to places, but no, it is sort of, like, intentional. I love it. I love it. Like, intentional gameplay pathways that are not... that are not sort of like visually coded as intended real life pathways. Again, the bridge over the river that we don't need a bridge to get over. What are we doing here? Sure, we have blue. What was this? The Citadel. Okay. I mean, I guess also the fact that, ooh. Oh! Oh, was it really saying use the wings to get all of these extra power-ups? That's cool. Including the auto map, which would tell us about any secrets we missed on this big map, which, I'm not interested in right now. I'll be honest. I think one thing that does help this map out, in particular, did we go through? Yeah, this is a nice big map. Wow, this is. I didn't even realize the way some of these areas were connected. I was about to get to a point. What was the point I was about to get to? I don't know. Is this how you get between these? Weird, crazy. Okay. There's something up there. Oh, they're up there. Oh. Well, I mean, we could just fly to get up there. I think this map in particular. Oh, hey, whoa. Thought everybody was gone. So you're telling me? Oh, up there, there's teleporters. Right, and there's also a teleporter in here. I'm still not sure how to get to. Okay, this is a door. Good. All right, that's a start. Hello, sir. I missed the elevator. What the? I would like this backpack, please. Thank you. Okay. Here we go. Just pitch black. There we go. Okay, figured it out. And then in here we go. And then in here, which has a man's grody, and then pushes us out. Okay, weird. Okay, fine. I feel better now. We learned. Words. Thirds. This map in particular, because it is, the Citadel, I think it does it is boxed in, it is a the whole point is like we are inside outer walls of a city. This is a walled city of some sorts, and having the thick outer walls, the tall outer walls all around it, I think, or the way the DooM map works, I think that, or DooM maps work, DooM mapping, whatever, I think that is a much easier way to sort of surround a town. Like if you look at cities in real life, at some point, a city doesn't come to a hard stop. A city sort of fades out into like sparse, civilization, and then that fades out into farmland, and it just sort of like gradually becomes empty. But for a map like this to be like, no, this is a wall where the city just ends. It's like, oh, okay, that is sort of like easier to map in these maps, easier to build in a way that makes sense, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Alright, let's get out. Oh, hello, secrets. I think. It is nice that that's stretched all the way up to the ceiling, because that's what gave it away. It gives you, like, the significance of it at height. Oh, or did we need it to open that door? Because I checked out the secret before I tried to check out the door. Okay, whatever. Let's get out of here. Okay, that's most of the first episode of Heretic. Then going to the cathedral. Let's just see what this looks like, and we'll save it, and then we'll get out of here. Then we'll get out of here. Whoa, spooky looking. Cool. Folks, thank you for hanging out with me here today. This is really enlightening, revisiting something that I knew about but had written off a very long time ago. And hey, I think Heretic might slap brackets excitement. Yeah, no, this is cool. Hmm. I don't know if I'm necessarily excited to check out more of it. I might play more on my own time. I was having a lot of fun playing it in VR, um, even if the button mapping didn't always work exactly how you wanted it to. Um, but that's something for me to learn about. This was cool. This was enlightening. This was I really got to find out, what else these mappers worked on because there's such a good sense of, and for being in 1994, there's such a good sense of how to design spaces that like make sense, feel complex, spaces that really transcend the the limitations of being, entirely top down 2D. Um, and yeah, I can't believe I never really noticed that like DooM as a dungeon crawler would make way more sense if you went in there and said like, what if it was a dungeon? Or maybe there's something about like all of the like even on this screen, we're looking at just a bunch of floating health potions. So every level feels a bit more like almost like a deathmatch map because there's just stuff for you to use everywhere. Not necessarily like, we're not going to go into the guard booth and that's where, the big armor upgrade is going to be. Stuff is just around. Okay. Um, but the actual like so like maybe like item placement doesn't feel, and also like it's you know before when I was pointing out the what do you call it, the like rooms off the hallway feel like the spaces make a certain sense about like, oh yeah, no, rooms off a hallway, this is something you would see, but at the same time what were those rooms filled with? Nothing sort of narratively telling, nothing like in there was no environmental storytelling necessarily, like so it's like these are maps that are really good um in terms of like traversal and they make for pretty good gameplay, but and like there are a lot of little details that make sense, and again like the materials, the spread, the way that they wrap around each other, making sort of like, you know this is looks like it's going to be like a big sort of like opulent feeling map, whereas the last one was this sort of like condensed confined urban map, and the the that the distinction between those feelings is super present, and that's cool. I like ones with a little, but it's sort of in that what I was saying about none of these maps have like, the door you entered in through. There's sort of that lack of that feeling of what are what is the sort of like there's no thought to any sort of like realism, like what are these areas used for outside of you're going to play a shooter through them. There's like no consideration to that, which like they are really good for what they are even without those, but I do appreciate a level of that in the maps I enjoy playing and exploring through. And it has a little bit of that, but not as much as I usually like. That being said, for 94, super impressive. I think they still, stand up now. There's still things to learn from them now. This whole thing is really cool. Um, but that's going to do it for me. I'm going to finish my breakfast now that it's almost dinner time. And until next time we talk, um, get vaccinated, get your booster. Um, until you can get vaccinated, stay home as much as possible. Self isolation is the best way to stop spread and avoid spread. Um, if you do have to go out, wear your mask. Your mask protects others, and vice versa. Um, wash your hands. That's just good hygiene. Um, also, on this point, cases going on the downturn doesn't mean that it's time to lift restrictions. Cases going on the downturn means that all the restrictions and mandates are working. If you see them start to work and then immediately turn them off, they're going to stop working and things are going to get worse again. I can't believe like there are people who are so excited for the end of this thing that, you know, they they're pulling the plug way too early and making it go on. If your car is like, moving towards the wall, you go, oh no, I better put on the brakes. And then you see the car start to slow down and you go, oh good, it's slowing down. Let's take our feet off the brakes. And then it speeds back up again. Like, yeah, what were you thinking? Like, this is the way these things work. Please understand. We all have the same goal. What's the rest of the sign off? Right. Lift the voices of the oppressed. Remember the difference between those who are being oppressed for, their right to exploit versus those who are being oppressed on their right to live. The people who are actually being victimized versus the people who are being prevented from victimizing others, abusing others. Those are different. Those are not the same sort of. You're not asking for the same freedoms. Those are different things. Remember that neutrality isn't real. Neutrality supports the status quo, which supports the oppressors. And the rule that underlines the rest of these is take care of one another. I'll see you next time. The crowd.